Greetings, true believers. It's your old pal Spider-Man. Hey guys, KJ here. It's Monday morning, and today is our last day on the lake. So this will be my last from the lake shave. We're only going to be here a few hours, just until everybody gets up, packs up, and then head back because we got a couple of things to do today. So I'm going to focus on the lake real quick. So you can see just how beautiful it is out here. So like I said, this is Lake of the Ozarks. And the sun's gonna be in my eyes over here. This is just one of a little teeny finger that shoots off. If you ever look up Lake of the Ozarks on the map, it's crazy. It's not like just a lake. It's Lake of the Ozarks used to be like a river, and then they built the two dams on the either side, and everything just rose up. Well, so not only did the little river fill up, but all the little offshoots filled up and became this big, huge, twisting lake. Lots of offshoots. So we're not on the main channel here. So this is super, super calm. There's hardly any boat traffic. There's a little teeny cove up there that has a bunch of houses with some boats. So usually when those boats are leaving to go up to the main channel, and then a few jet skis. But this is such a quiet area. I just love it. I'm gonna go ahead and while I'm talking, get my brush soaking. And so one thing that's kind of interesting is, I'm not sure how far across the lake is, maybe 7,500 yards, something like that. This channel here is, at its deepest, is only about 4.5 feet deep. My kids can pretty much walk all the way across, which is crazy. You just have no idea how shallow it actually is. Our first time here, you know, the kids were playing right outside the deck. They got the life jackets on, but they're touching. I mean, and they're like, "Hey, can we swim across?" I'm like, "Well, okay." And so they start swimming across, and they get like halfway, and they're like, "We can still touch." Like it never gets deep right here. It's just a really, really shallow area, which I was out last time and taking my mom out for a ride on the jet ski, and she wanted to see what I could do with it, so I was getting all crazy, and we hit a wave wrong and we wiped out well in the middle of the channel, and we both stood up. We're in like waist deep water. It was just funny. So for today's shave, I'm using CBL Russian tea. I've been looking forward to using this ever since I got it. And I saved it specifically for this shave, my last shave at the lake. Alright, so we're just gonna load that right off the puck. Now there's been some videos, both Nurse Dave and Dave, Skyside Dave, have been talking about BBS lately, and I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about my journey and what I do for shaves, kind of my outlook on it. Now when I started shaving, I was in the Air Force, so I pretty much had to shave every day. And I guess I could, my beard doesn't grow in super dark, so if I skipped a day, I could get by, because you had to get real close to me to notice. But if you were that close, then you could tell that I didn't shave that day. So really, I had to shave it every day. But when I first started traditional wet shaving, I kind of learned the whole against the grain, with the grain, across the grain, and said, hey, you need to do 4 passes. You need to hit every direction on your face to get the optimal cut on your hairs and to get the smoothest shave. So that's what I started doing. And I thought it was just easier because there's this whole talk about beard mapping and grain direction and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, rather than worrying about which way the hairs are growing, why don't I just shave in all 4 directions? Then I'm pretty much hitting the against the grain and with the grain and across the grain, no matter which way the hair is growing. So I did it, and I would always do a downstroke, then an across stroke, and then an across stroke, and then an up. Well, so I was chasing the BBS, and just found that I had a lot of irritation. It was almost painful, and pretty much decided that it wasn't worth it anymore. So first thing I did was cut the against the grain or the upstroke out of it, because that one was really the most painful. I could do both of the across the grains without any issues, without any pain. And then I kind of got to the point where I'm like, well, the amount of reduction that I'm getting versus the time that I'm spending trying to get it just doesn't make any sense. So I eventually whittled it down to only 1 across the grain pass. So I do a down with the grain and then just 1 time across. Now, because of beard mapping, and I know that especially on my neck and my chin line, the hairs grow this way, I do pretty much across the grain this way. Sometimes I change and do whatever, but so that's kind of my thing. I just do one down pass and then 1 across pass, and then I leave it at that. It's a good enough shave for me. You can't see anything. It's just to feel. So usually when I'm all done, I'll feel all over my face, and if I feel an area that's a little heavier than others, then that's the area that I'm gonna go back and do a quick touch up. And I'm not doing a full pass, but depending on the area, it's either gonna be an across the grain or an against the grain stroke. So that's me. I'm a 2 pass plus touch up sometimes. Kind of feel like this blade is on the way out. This shave is a little bit rough, and it's not from the soap because this is a super slick soap. But I am going to go ahead and add some extra water for my next pass, and I did not bring a towel down here. So the So I'm just gonna add some water directly to the brush, kind of let it soak in a little bit. Definitely change my blade before I pack this one away so that I got a fresh blade next time I travel with it. The scent on this is so good. So, like I said, this is going to be the last of my camping / at the lake travel shave. Looking forward to getting back home. I've been continuing to use the soaps out of Chad's Piff box. While I'm out here, so that hasn't slowed down, but I do have a couple of things at home that I really want to get to. One is Dave in Kentucky is lending me some modern razors to try out. And the first one that he sent me is a Rockwell. So even though I was kind of on the fence about razor systems, not that I have anything against them as a concept, it makes sense. I don't like waste. And it seems like once you figure out what base plate you want and what you're gonna use, everything else is just wasteful. It's just gonna sit in a drawer. Something that there's some metal that you paid for. And if you knew which one you wanted to begin with, you could just buy the one and be cheaper, right? But I'm gonna try it out and I'm gonna see how I like it. I only got a couple of moderns, and I'm probably gonna say all this again when I do that video. I've got a Merkur 34C HD that I use. It's pretty much my daily driver. I was pretty against modern razors at the beginning of my journey, just because why spend a bunch of money on a modern razor when the vintage ones work well and you can find them cheap at antique stores or eBay. So I did a lot of buying of razors and of all sorts of vintage varieties, mostly Gillettes, but a lot of gem single edge and injectors and all sorts of razors, and I was getting great shaves out of them, so I never saw the point in going to get some witch hazel, going to a modern razor and spending a bunch of money. Well, so I think it was from one of the Mr. Bingle Christmas exchanges. Somebody sent me the 34C, and I almost didn't even like the look of it. Like, I was so against modern razors, and finally tried it, and man, it was a good shave. Just nice and mild and consistent, and just almost an easier shave and a smoother shave than I was getting from my Gillettes. And over time, it really just became my go-to main razor. So that's the one I've been using mostly. And I've got a EJ 89L that I keep in the shower. for occasional use there. And beyond that, I've got a couple of modern single edge, but those two razors are the only modern double edge that I have. And just with all this talk that Chris has been or Chad has been doing for Chris for the timeless versus aristocrat, I've been kind of thinking maybe about getting a different modern razor. And Dave contacted me and offered to let me try out his. So first up is the Rockwell. So I'll be using that for tomorrow's shave. I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do it. As far as there's like 6 different plates, so I don't know where I'll start at the beginning. If I'll start at the lower end and work my way all the way up and try it over the course of a week or so and hone it in. But I don't know, we'll see. I'll take a look at it when I get back. I've also got a new brush that I want to try out and show you guys. So that's it from the lake, and I'll be sad to go and get back home, but also be nice to get back to a little bit of normalcy. Definitely all this swimming and lounging in the sun and riding jet skis, it's hard on your body, you know. It's rough out here. I woke up with sore muscles. Like, is it worth it? Is it? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me is that worth it to come out here? Just beautiful. Beautiful. So, again, for the shaving cadre, I'm Spider. I hope you guys enjoyed these videos as much as I like making them. And we'll see you guys on the forums. Bye.